You're on a third date. Everything is perfect on paper. Funny, attractive, says all the right things. The conversation flows effortlessly. There's nothing wrong, nothing you could point to, but somewhere between the appetizers and the main course, something shifts inside you. Quiet, nameless feeling. Not nervousness, not excitement, something else entirely. You ignore it. You tell yourself you're overthinking. Everyone has doubts, right? 2 years later, sitting in a therapist's office, you think back to that dinner, to that exact moment, and you realize you knew. That night, at that table, some part of you already knew. That wasn't paranoia. That wasn't fear. That was your brain detecting something your conscious mind wasn't ready to accept yet. Here's what researchers are now confirming. Your conscious mind processes roughly 40 to 50 bits of information per second. Your subconscious? 11 million. Every single second. Your brain is silently processing an ocean of signals you will never consciously see. Your sixth sense isn't magic. It's that ocean. Today, we're going to talk about the 7 signs that yours is more powerful than you've ever given yourself credit for. Most people think of intuition as something mystical, a gift some people have and others don't. But psychology tells a very different story. And honestly, it's more impressive. Think of your conscious mind as the captain of a ship. Below deck, there's an entire crew working constantly, running systems the captain never sees. Intuition is the moment the crew sends a message up that says, "Captain, something's off." For mechanisms power this. Pattern recognition, your brain cataloging every experience since birth, flagging mismatches before you can articulate them. Predictive processing, your brain actively modeling reality and jolting you when something doesn't fit. Thin slicing, the ability to make accurate judgments from razor-thin slices of experience. And somatic markers, emotional memories stored not just in the mind, but physically in the body. That tightness in your chest, that pull in your gut. Memory your body kept even when your mind forgot. This is what your sixth sense is built from. Not magic. Accumulated intelligence. And here's the thing, this isn't rare. This isn't a superpower that only some people carry. Every single one of these mechanisms is running inside you right now. The only question is whether you've been paying attention to what they're trying to tell you. Because there are specific moments, specific experiences, that signal your sixth sense is not just present, but exceptionally powerful. See how many of these feel familiar. Sign 1. You sense dishonesty before you have proof. Someone is talking to you. Their words are perfectly reasonable. But something feels slightly off. A fraction of a second's hesitation, a micro-expression that vanished before you consciously registered it, a slight mismatch between their tone and their words. You can't point to anything specific. But you know. Maybe it's a coworker who always has a smooth explanation for everything. Maybe it's someone you're dating who says all the right things. Nothing obvious is wrong. Yet every conversation leaves you with a strange, lingering feeling you can't quite shake. Weeks later, the truth surfaces, and you realize your brain knew the whole time. You just hadn't listened. Psychologically, what's happening is your brain is detecting micro-incongruences. Tiny inconsistencies between verbal and nonverbal communication that fall below conscious awareness but not below subconscious processing. Studies show that humans are actually quite poor at detecting lies when they overthink it. But when people trust their first instinct, accuracy goes up significantly. Sign 2. You think of people right before they contact you. This one makes people feel slightly supernatural. But the explanation is beautifully ordinary. Think about the people closest to you. You know their rhythms, when they usually reach out, what kind of day tends to make them text, the emotional patterns that precede their calls. You've absorbed all of this without ever trying. So when your subconscious quietly computes that the conditions are right, that it's been exactly the kind of week when they'd reach out, your conscious mind experiences it as a random thought. A face appearing from nowhere. Then your phone buzzes, and you're not surprised at all. Sign 3. Certain places or situations instantly feel wrong. You walk into a room and something shifts inside you. It might be a party where everyone seems fine, a meeting where the smiles are too rehearsed, a first date where the conversation flows perfectly, but something underneath doesn't. You can't explain it. Nothing has happened yet. But something in you has already decided. Your brain is doing environmental threat mapping in real time, cross-referencing spatial cues, crowd dynamics, microexpressions, vocal tone, even the way people are positioned relative to each other. All of this lands before you've consciously looked around. This is an ancient survival system, and in people with strong intuition, it's exquisitely sensitive, often right long before the evidence catches up. Sign 4. Your first instinct is more accurate than your second guessing. You take a test. Your eyes land on the answer and something quietly clicks. Then the second guessing starts. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me think this through more carefully. You change your answer. You get it wrong. The first one was right. This happens outside of classrooms too. A job offer that immediately felt wrong even though it looked perfect on paper. A decision you agonized over for days only to land back where you started, at your original instinct. Research consistently shows that initial responses, driven by subconscious pattern recognition, are often more accurate than the answers produced by deliberate analysis. The more you know about something, the more trustworthy that first signal becomes. Overthinking doesn't sharpen it. It drowns it. Sign 5. You read the emotional temperature of a room the moment you enter it. You walk into your family home for the holidays. Before anyone says a word, there's been an argument. You can feel it in the way people are standing, in the pauses that are slightly too long, in the smiles that don't quite reach the eyes. Or you walk into a meeting at work and immediately sense that something has already been decided, that whatever is about to be discussed is just performance. Your brain is simultaneously reading dozens of faces, postures, microexpressions, and vocal tones, and compressing all of it into one summary feeling that arrives before a single word is spoken. You don't know how you know. You just know. And you're usually right. Sign 6. You notice tiny details others completely miss. A friend says they're fine, but they used a word they don't normally use. Their message came at an unusual time. The tone was slightly flatter than normal. Individually, none of it means anything. Together, it means something is wrong. Or maybe it's physical. A small object moved from where it always sits. A change in someone's routine so minor most people wouldn't register it. A detail in a story that doesn't quite line up with something said earlier. People with strong subconscious processing don't just notice what's there. They notice what's different. And different is almost always where the signal lives. Sign 7. You frequently just know the right decision even before the logic catches up. You get offered an opportunity. On paper, everything looks right, good money, good title, good timing. But something quietly says no. Not fear, not doubt, just a calm, clear sense that this isn't it. Or the opposite. Something unconventional appears. Something you can't fully justify yet. And something in you immediately, inexplicably says yes. Before the pros and cons list. Before the advice from anyone else. Before you even fully understand why. Psychologists call this implicit knowledge, expertise and experience so deeply absorbed that it has been compressed into a feeling. It bypasses the logical mind entirely and lands as certainty. It's not irrational. It's reasoning so refined it no longer needs to show its work. Most of us were trained from childhood to distrust this kind of knowing. Be logical. You need evidence. And while critical thinking matters, something got lost. We began to believe that if we couldn't explain something, it wasn't real. Modern life makes it worse. Notifications, comparison, distraction, all of it creates internal static. And intuition speaks in whispers. Anxiety screams. Overthinking narrates. The quietest signal gets buried. Here's the distinction that changes everything. Fear says, "This is dangerous." Anxiety says, "Everything might be dangerous." Wishful thinking says, "This is what I want." Intuition says, "Pay attention." Intuition feels calm and clear even when its message is uncomfortable. That difference is everything. Carl Jung wrote, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." Slow down before big decisions. Journal what you sensed before you knew. Pay attention to what your body is telling you. Reduce the noise even briefly. Your sixth sense isn't a mystical gift. It's the accumulated wisdom of every experience you've lived. running quietly in the background, working on your behalf, whether or not you acknowledge it. You don't need to become psychic. You just need to become a better listener to yourself.